Cheers, everybody. Today we have a two mover. White to play here and checkmate in two moves. Our pawn is going in this direction, so we could start with a check if we want to. And the black pawns, of course, is going in the other direction, which is down. So before we start thinking about this, I might say that I recognize this. I might have shoot this video before, but I looked through my videos and I couldn't find it. So maybe I saw it in some other context. Anyway, if so, then I'm sorry in advance. All right, so now you can pause the video, think about this, and see if you find out how white has to play to checkmate black in two moves from here. Go ahead. And welcome back. Okay, so actually the first thing we see is that if we push the pawn, this is not going to be checkmate. Black will just push to a7, and if we promote to a queen, he can continue to a6, and we are not checkmating black there. Of course, it wouldn't be that simple. The second thing we think about is really why is all these pieces here? Well, look at this. Black cannot move his king. If he moves the bishop, if it was black to move, if we move his bishop somewhere, then we will have a checkmate up here with queen. And the same thing, if the knight will move somewhere like this, then we will have a checkmate on a1 with our queen. If this pawn will be pushed, then we will have a checkmate here because the black queen will cover a7. And at the same time, if black would move his pawn to f2, then we simply grab the bishop here with a checkmate like this. So this is a typical Zugzwang issue. That means that if it was black to move, he would worsen his position and give us checkmate in one. So the problem here, the real puzzle, is how to find a way for white to move and not mess with this Zugzwang. And it's not that easy. So the first thing that comes to mind is to move the king. And we are still having his king fenced in here, and we're adding an extra threat in knight c7 checkmate. But this is not the correct solution. Black will play the bishop to h3, pinning this knight on e6, and also our king is now blocking the checkmate we were planning on g8 with our queen. So king to c8 is not the issue, and the same is if we move away our king somewhere, then we just here black can play this with a check, or anywhere else also black can just escape to b8 and we're letting the king out. So this is not winning. So the king has to stay. The queen cannot move anywhere unless we want to sacrifice it, and we do not want that. Wherever we go, our queen will be lost, so it has to stay on g1. Now looking at this knight. Okay, if we move it to d8 or f8, then black can move his bishop, and we are blocking our own checkmate here. The bishop is not good on the 8th rank. Same goes if we're moving the knight to the g file. Still gonna block our queen passage to g8, so that's not a good issue. If we move it, say here, then we're blocking this diagonal for the queen. So black can play e2, and this will not be a checkmate anymore because the king can escape. And we don't want to block our own queen diagonal, of course, so we couldn't put it here either. So what's remaining is perhaps you think that knight f4 is correct, but it's not either, because black will move his bishop to h3, and now this is not a checkmate because the bishop can move one more and block this, and it will be a checkmate in 3 moves instead. All right, so we only have this knight left, but we have the same problem here. If we move it to anywhere on the a file, then we're blocking our own possibility of checkmating here. If we're moving to b5 or d4, it's the same. Now we're blocking our own diagonal here, so it's not a checkmate anymore with b7. And if we go down to c1, it's the same. Now we can move his knight, and we cannot come to a1. So really, now we're going through all the moves. The only one remaining is the correct one. Here we have to play knight to d2. Now it's the only place we can put it without blocking our own pieces for a checkmate. And it really doesn't matter that black can take this with either piece. Because if we do, then we move away his pawn, and this is a checkmate because we're blocking h7 here. And if he grabs this with a knight, well, then we're going to put our queen on a1 with a checkmate. And the same goes if this knight moves anywhere else. It's still going to be queen a1 checkmate. And as we looked at from the beginning, if the pawn moves forward, or it's the same, checkmate up here. If the bishop moves somewhere, well, then we're going to have a checkmate on g8. And lastly, sorry, that was supposed to be there. If the pawn moves to f2, then we simply grab on g2 and we get a checkmate up here. So that's how you solve this. You find this odd looking move, knight to d2, and it will follow with a checkmate in the next move for white. Thank you for watching this little video, everybody. See you again tomorrow. I'll have something else in store for you then. Bye bye.